Good day and welcome back to Let's Talk. We're in our final session here concerning Daddy, Where Are You? We were looking at the testimony of an experience that this lady had. And she mentioned so much about her father and how he was there for her. Today we have a special guest with us. I have my daughter, Lael Collins, with us, and she's going to chime in a little bit concerning this as well. All right? So let's get right back into this. So we ended on the note which spoke about the last sentence we looked at said, I remember saying, Daddy, I don't have the strength to do this. And this person was going through a tough time. It was a court case. And he just mentioned, Daddy, I don't have the strength to do it. And his response was, I'll be there for you tomorrow. And then she said, and he was. And then moving on, the next sentence says, when things go wrong, the first person I call is Daddy.
So that's a good question for Sister Lael. Lael, when things are not going the way you want them to go, who do you call first?
So it depends on what the problem is.
So let me play with your mind a little bit. What problem would Daddy be first to know?
If I need help with my homework,
Okay, that's good. How about if you need money for lunch?
sometimes I would have money from the daily wage or I'd use my own.
Oh, so he gives you some money before. Oh, that's a good daddy, man. I don't talk everything about you because we listening. Pastor Collins, I thought of this when the person said, he said, I'll be there tomorrow. Now, if that child who is an adult truly believed in the father, you could imagine how that child felt when she heard the words, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yep.
I imagine like she felt like you couldn't say it better because that's what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ask, Daddy, will you come tomorrow? He said, Daddy, I can't handle this. But like we discussed last time in a courtroom, what can Daddy do in a courtroom? All Daddy needs to do is to be there for support. I could imagine when that adult would be in that courtroom and look around to Daddy, Daddy should have a word to whisper, not of the head, the finger.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing good. And then that would give the child the encouragement to go on. These things mean a lot. She said, when things go wrong, the first person I call is my father. This person really believed in her father. And she believed in her father because she can trust her father. These are days that there's some daughters don't trust their father. And to have a father at home where the daughter can trust, that's so important. The first person I call is my father. Boy, I wonder if there are not other important people in this person's life. But regardless to who they are, she thinks that her daddy is the one that she calls first. But I like the other part of the testimony where she said, my father liked to dress. And she said, I appreciate that he likes to look good. But when Daddy bought a suit, so it says he wears suits, he also bought a dress for mother and a dress or suit for everyone. So as we look at this father, we see that he is really playing the father's role. That is not everything about him. He thinks of his family. If there's a new pair of shoes for him, and those that need shoes will also get shoes. Now, one of the things that I have noticed about this, look at the things that our children remember. Now, of course, I am sure the father did not do that for her to remember it. But look at the things they remember, that Daddy wouldn't go to church in a suit unless they're going to church dressed in something good or something new also. And the person said, he knew we were a reflection of him and we all step out looking the same. Not that mommy coming out and the hem is out of her dress, gone to the old people and her petticoat longer than her dress. But she's saying, if mommy looks good, daddy looks good. If the children looks good, daddy looks good. If the family looks good, daddy looks good. But at the same time, if daddy looks good, they look good. And you would never think that a child will be thinking of those things. She said, I watch him take other people's children under his wings and provide for them as well. Not only his children, that he cared for other people's children and he provided for them. We never lacked for anything. Whatever we needed, he provided. And sometimes, because a father is so tight and he gives a mother $50 at the end of the week to go buy food that he eat $49.50 worth of it, and 50 cents worth is for the mother and the children. Because he is so tight, there is need. I like what Lyle said. Lyle said, sometimes I have my own money. That's because daddy or mommy gave her own money. She's not working. And to have her own money, she would either have to have it from her parents, or look sharp, she tried to get it from somebody else, in which a good parent would not want her taking gifts from other people, especially the opposite sex. He said, Daddy took us on vacations. From the time we landed and got in the car, country music was blasting. What? Whoever this man was, he loved country and western music. She said country music was blasting. And I like what she said. She said there isn't one Kenny Rogers song that we don't know. And these are the things they remember. We saw so much of the world because Daddy exposed us to it. Places we saw on TV, we visited. I want to thank God for children that are appreciated. And notice what she said. In adulthood, my father is still there. Not that he was there for me as a child. Now that I'm an adult, he's still there. Every step of the way, watch this now, watch this. He gives you space to be an adult. Not dictating the life of, the person will always be your daughter, but she's not a baby anymore. But he gives me space to be an adult. But when he is needed, he is right there. There were times when I felt like my back was against the wall and I didn't know where to turn. Watch this. I certainly didn't want to embarrass my father, but there he was with no condemnation. In other words, there may have been things that the child did that would embarrass the father and would cause the father to stay away. I don't want nothing to do with you. But in spite of what happened, the father was there. You will always be the father of your child. And she said he was always there with unconditional love. While my father is not God, he made God real to me in those moments.
This puts me to think that some people can't get a grasp of God as a father because they have no grasp of a natural father to represent God. So if we as fathers do our part, we'll give them a glimpse of what God the Father is, who he is, what he does, and what he could represent. But some people, of course, don't care about God because they have no father, or the father that they have doesn't properly represent God. And when it comes to speaking about God, no, the father that I see doesn't care. No, you want to talk to me about a father that I can't see? So this is a very good example here of how this father represented God well and allowed his experience with his daughter experience with him rather to go further, and now she is experiencing God because of him and because of good example he has.
Yes, so correct, Pastor Collins. She said, I felt closest to God when I experienced that kind of unconditional love from my father. I always think of the authority that God has placed over us. God has placed me in our home as the father, as the husband, to be the authority over the home, to be his representative. And what she is saying is, when I can't see God or when I can't get to God, the closest persons that reflect him is my father. And I oftentimes tell people in church that when you have a pastor, that's the authority that God has placed over you. That's the reason why when people are down, when they are going through tough times in life, one of the first persons they look for is the pastor. Why? In their minds, this person is the closest that they can find to the Lord. The closest
Correct.
they can find to the Lord. So, with such a responsibility, we must always be thinking that we are there to represent the Lord. She said, to this day, when I cannot figure out how things are going to work, there he is, praying and encouraging, helping me to figure out a way. Now, that's the end of that testimony.
Yeah.
But there is something that we would need to talk a little bit about, Pastor Collins, because in both of these testimonies, these two ladies, the one who experienced that bad beginning in life, she turned around and she was there for her father. Sometimes fathers are there for children, and sometimes children become ungrateful. They're never grateful to the point, don't care what a father will do. They're never grateful to the point to say, he did this for me. Now, I know that he may have done many wrong things, but find at least something good to say that he did. Something good. And many times that discourages fathers from being the father that God wants them to be, because the children have become ungrateful. They say to others, I don't care about him, he don't know nothing from me. And children have to be very careful with that. Be grateful. Both of these young ladies were grateful to God, even though they didn't have a father. One didn't have a father, the other one had a father. She turned around without the father and she did what she could for her father. And the one that had this father with her, she's telling the world the father that he was to her. So young people, Lyle, be always grateful. Tell me something good about your daddy, Lyle.
He's mostly patient with me.
He's a patient fellow. If I tell you something, you'll believe me? Me and he walk together. He patient with me too. What else you
Really?
notice about him?
He's not like afraid to like discipline you.
He's not afraid to discipline you. And that's good, ain't true? Because sometimes we need discipline. Ain't true? That's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need discipline. And I have noticed, Lyle, he takes time out. I have noticed when it's beach day, I can't get him do nothing. When it's beach day, it's beach day, Pastor. I am gone. And that is good. He takes time out for his children. He takes time out. When he's going, taking the family out, Pastor, you won't see me such and such a time. I am gone. And these are the things that we need to be seen in the fathers of today. So, Lyle, what would you say to the young people out there today in regards to how they should respect their father, how they should love their father, and what would you say to fathers from a young person point of view, what is expected of them? I know Daddy helped you with everything, so Daddy, you better tell me, yeah.
Based on what I've seen, you should be appreciative of your parents because they might not have a lot, but they work for the money so they could get you stuff that you need.
Amen. Amen. And what was the other part again, Pastor Collins? Or what is it? What encouragement?
I feel like fathers out there should be patient with their children and not like rush them to do stuff because it might be the first time they're doing it and they don't know how to do it properly.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning in once more with Let's Start. I hope you've enjoyed and gathered value from these sessions that we've been having. If you do so, let us know. If you see areas that we could improve, let us know as well. And if, for example, you have topics or questions or concerns that you say, you know what, I would like to know more about this or know more about that, let us know that as well. Thank you very much and see you on the next session.